The Accidental Entrepreneur is brought to you with the help of our sponsor, AWeber, the world's leading small business email marketing and automation service provider. Since 1998, AWeber has helped more than 1 million small businesses and entrepreneurs through its suite of web-based email marketing, automation tools, and education. AWeber, the best option when it comes to marketing your business. The podcast is also brought to you by the Alternative Board. Since 1989, the Alternative Board, or TAB, has been one of the leading peer advisory and business coaching organizations for independent business owners and CEOs across the world. By facilitating peer advisory boards, private one-on-one coaching, and strategic planning services, TAB helps business owners improve their businesses in ways that change their lives. And be sure to connect with our affiliate sponsor, GSM Growth Agency. They're boosting e-commerce businesses to 6 and 7 figures in revenue and cover everything from ads and social media influencers to making your website better. GSM Growth Agency focuses on taking businesses from startup success to bigger success, going above and beyond to make sure growth sticks around. They're all about cool ideas, lasting partnerships, and making your mark in the e-commerce world. And be sure to support the podcast by ordering some logo merchandise from our online store. Listen to all of our sponsors' commercials later in this episode and follow their links in the show notes to learn more about their products and services. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm Mitch Beinhacker, your host. We have an international episode today. Merag is, 6 hours ahead of me. He's in Germany, and we're going to talk about marketing for business owners and tips and tricks and fun stuff, and we're going to have a good time talking and learn about him. So if you are listening on your favorite directory, leave us a 5-star review wherever you can. If you're watching us on YouTube, like the channel, subscribe, and so we can keep connecting with all the great guests we've had over the years. So let's get on with the show.
When you're hitting puberty, it's also important for you to find some form of identity.
Yeah.
And I was the only Middle Eastern guy in my high school.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I wanted to find out, how can I make this my advantage? At that time, I was like, the future could be better in America, in the United States, because my cousins told me they were way better accepted over there.
Yeah.
As long as you have a first name that sounds American, everyone's fine with it.
Well, now things have changed, but yeah.
And they said you are not supposed to ask anyone where your parents are from. If you say you're American, everyone accepts it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I would love my children to grow up like that. But the more I learned about America, the more I learned the middle class is squeezed already.
It's not, and it's gotten worse. It's not. I'm not proud to be.
The information provided in these episodes is for entertainment purposes only. It is not a guarantee of success or to be construed as advice of any kind. You should always seek advice from local licensed professionals before making any decisions.
The dictionary defines an entrepreneur as a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. People often start a business without much choice, perhaps due to a job loss or just being dissatisfied at work, and they come up with an idea they just know can be successful. They become entrepreneurs by accident. That is to say, their success or failure happens by accident, not with intention. My name is Mitch Beinhacker. I'm a corporate attorney and a business advisor. You're listening to The Accidental Entrepreneur, my podcast about how to achieve success on purpose, not by accident. Join me along with our monthly guests, where we share our knowledge and help you get a hold of your business. And now on to today's episode.
Hi, I'm Merag, and my answer is I'm always doing good if you ask me how I'm doing, because I have learned as an entrepreneur and by accompanying many startups and entrepreneurs in whatever stage they are with marketing and sales operations, that you should be always grateful for whatever situation you are in, because it can be worse, it can be tougher. So appreciate the good times. And if you are currently in a state where you need help, ask me, because I can take care of the good times.
All right. right, Merag, thanks for coming on the show. I know it's almost your bedtime, so we'll only make this an hour. So now, did you say you were in Frankfurt or where?
Hamburg.
Hamburg. I knew it was either
Yeah.
Frankfurt or Hamburg. Okay, good. That's not where the hamburger was invented, was it?
Actually, it was, but
Oh.
only the meat part that came from Hamburg,
Yeah.
and only when it got over to America, somebody in
added a
America
bun.
got the idea to put it into buns.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. Okay, there you go. So a little trivia there. All right, so why don't we first talk about you? Tell us about yourself and your background and excuse me, your training and stuff like that, and then we'll get into all the fun marketing stuff. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay, it's all yours.
First of all, thanks for having me. I've checked out many episodes of your show, especially the last one. I really enjoyed. I forgot his name, but how passionate he was about all the history of photography and how he started.
Yeah,
and he was really starting by accident.
a lot of people do. Yeah, they just kind of fall into things.
I was very, very naive when I was still at high school. It was my last year because my parents are immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
They never finished school. My mom wasn't even able to read or write. And they were all guessing things because they didn't know what does campus look like, how is it to become a student, and how you gonna get your bachelor. They didn't even know the difference between diploma and bachelor's, and that there's a changing system in Germany.
Okay.
And I was shocked when I did my internships in different companies, and I did it also in several countries because my parents said, if you go out and hang out with the academics, they are totally different. They are intellectuals. They are smart. You need to speak slowly. You need to be very eloquent.
Right.
And when I was in the larger corporations, it was the same as our school playground. The same kind of jokes, the same kind of picking and bitching and etc.
Yeah.
So I was very shocked. Like, damn it, the world is totally different than people told me about.
Like the real world. Yeah, exactly. And this was in Germany, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mostly in Germany. I did also some internships in 2008 in Dubai and 2010 in Shanghai and some cities south of Shanghai.
They've been in some cool cities.
Yeah.
Dubai's crazy and Shanghai's crazy. Like the stuff you see and the money and the buildings and all the stuff is crazy, right?
You remember what happened in 2008?
Yeah. And I remember in the United States, all the real estate collapsed.
Yeah, and now think about that. Dubai was just a hub of people investing just into real estate, not really living there.
Right.
And one of my larger business wisdom came from this internship because I saw how many people took out their money out of their second home.
Right.
Because Dubai was just a playground for many Indians, North Africans, and some other MENA region people.
Yeah.
And when you lose money, you won't sell your first house first, right?
Right.
So it's always your second house, third house, maybe your yacht, your helicopter.
Right.
And most of the things were in Dubai. So they were selling everything. And I was just doing my internship over there. And I have family members, and everyone was just fighting, arguing, shouting.
Really?
I heard it regularly, like people stating things, and this is no joke. One of my cousins showed me a street dog and said, "Look at that dog. Look at this dog. He might have a better life than I have right now."
Really? Yeah, well, people were selling stuff for no money, right? It must have been cheap. If you had money,
yes,
you could buy things for a very low price.
And in 2008 and the years before, it wasn't so popular internationally. It was just popular among South Asians, Central Asians, and North Africans, etc. So only it was a hub mostly for the region, not internationally.
Now it's becoming international. So
yeah, exactly.
Stuff, right. So how long were you in Dubai for? Just for just for the internship?
Yeah, just 2 months internship because I was still a high school student. Actually, it was an obligatory internship for high school students.
Oh, so and you usually guys had a system where everyone would intern with a company when you're in high school?
exactly.
Wow,
And
they should do that here.
I was one of the fancier kids who said, I don't want to do it in Hamburg. I want to leave.
Yeah. Oh, so
So
not everybody left. Some people stayed, just did
only
local.
I was the first guy who ever came up with this idea and introduced it to the principal.
Uh-huh. Oh, you
And
said I want to go overseas?
yeah, I negotiated with the principal. I told him like, where does it state that it's only legal to do it in Hamburg or surrounding?
Right.
And after I introduced it, suddenly some of the rich kids at my school asked their parents, and
They want to go
yeah,
too.
yeah, one did it in Miami. I went to Dubai, and someone else was south of Spain.
Wow. Yeah. And see, in the United States, we do that in college. We'll do like abroad. We'll go to a semester in Italy. My daughter was there, but not in high school. No way. Might be like 2 weeks. You do an exchange program or something, but yeah, not
Yeah,
like
it was also usually just 2 weeks, and some might extend it over the autumn because it's always combined with the autumn
you have a break then?
vacations.
Yeah.
And then they extended 2 more weeks, and I was the only guy who asked like, I don't want to do it for 4 weeks because I'm going abroad. Let's find a
Let's do it
solution
more.
that I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to come back too quickly. Okay. So what did you do for that company? What was your internship?
I ended up being the German guy, even though I don't look like that, but at least I was speaking the European languages
Right.
and had a different kind of accent, and that was already helpful for selling a few things or to look more international at that time. And
so they kind of
the
got you selling
company,
things.
yeah, exactly. And I was in the company that is called still Thuraya. That is one of the largest satellite communication companies in the world.
Ah, okay.
So many people came from the MENA region because they said because if you are driving from one city to another, usually there's no connection anymore. If you're in Libya or in Somalia,
You can't get there.
yeah, and if you want to stay connected, you usually need satellite communications.
Ah, I see. Because like you can't just dial the phone.
Exactly, because
Got
the usual at that time was a 2G connection that
2G,
wasn't
right?
so
Which we probably thought
sophisticated.
was
Yeah,
fast, right? 2G was fast.
yeah,
in
yeah,
those
yeah.
days.
That was
fun.
crazy.
Yeah. Now, how many languages do you speak, Merag? You speak German, I guess. You clearly speak English. What other languages do you speak?
My mother tongue, that is Pashto.
Oh, okay.
That is being spoken in South Afghanistan, North of Pakistan, and we
Uh-huh.
are actually from Afghanistan.
Ah, wow.
And
Tough.
yeah, and then in European schools, you have to learn some other neighboring countries' languages, and I
Right.
chose French at that time.
Uh-huh.
And
So you
I'm
speak
so
4 languages?
happy. French is not so good. It's just
No.
like if my wife and I need a secret language so that our children don't understand us because they are now pretty good at Pashto Farsi because my wife speaks Farsi from Iran.
Oh, so you got a lot
And
of languages going around your head.
yeah, they understand at least some partially words, but French, they haven't had that at school because they are pretty young. I have 3 daughters, younger than 4.
Oh, so they're not, yeah, they haven't done. So what's the most difficult language to speak, do you think?
My mother tongue.
Which is
Pashto.
German? Oh, Pashto is your mother tongue. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm born and raised here in Hamburg, and my internships were actually my strive to leave that city because I always thought it's so rural compared to what I saw in movies and TV shows about what's going on in New York, the city that
big
never
city.
sleeps.
Hamburg's not a big city?
It felt like it wasn't.
Right.
Because Hamburg is from the size nearly as Berlin,
Okay.
but has only half of the inhabitants. So we are very vast. We take really advantage of the cityscape.
Got it.
And but I was in New York. I also did an internship in New York, but as a college student.
Uh-huh.
And I was so disappointed.
Yeah. Well, New York, because everybody's crammed in on the island. You can't spread out. There's a lot
Not
of
only
people in
that, the city was sleeping. I was out in the week,
Yeah.
and at night you could just walk through Manhattan, and there was no one.
What year was this?
2012.
And it was just quiet? It wasn't that crowded?
It
Surprise.
was quiet. If you after 11 p.m., only
Yeah,
a few hip
yeah.
bars were open, and the rest of the city was just calm. And
Yeah. That's the way it is. People go to sleep. They go back to their apartment, whatever.
yeah, but if
they're
your
not up
neighbor,
all night. It's not,
Yeah,
we're not
but if your nickname is the city that never sleeps,
I
then I
know that's what they
imagine.
say. Well, the thing is, the city that never sleeps, meaning you can get anything at any time, anywhere, but it doesn't mean there's people walking around the streets all the time.
Yeah, the year before I was in China,
Okay,
these are cities that are not sleeping because
really, they're
around
up.
the
People
clock
are
you
out
can
all the
order
time.
anything you want, and
Yeah,
people are. If you're just in the city center, everyone's still doing business.
yeah,
People working day shift in a corporate job, and at
right.
night
Because
shift
of the
they're
time shit. Right, they're dealing with people, and the times are different. Now, what
not
about
only that.
Shanghai? What was that like?
That was crazy. That
Yeah.
was really crazy because I learned Mandarin in my high school,
Oh yeah.
and I was watching documentaries all day about China because I was so fascinated. Because in Germany, people called me like the Middle Eastern guy, the Turkish guy, because many Middle Eastern people are from Turkey.
Yeah.
And when I was in Afghanistan visiting my family, for them, I was like the American, like the Western.
Yeah.
And when you're hitting puberty, it's also important for you to find some form of identity.
Yeah.
And I was the only Middle Eastern guy in my high school.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I wanted to find out like how can I make this my advantage. At that time, I was like, the future could be better in America, in the
Yeah.
United States, because my cousins told me they were way better accepted over there.
Yeah.
As long as you have a first name that sounds American, everyone's fine with it.
Now things have changed, but yeah.
And they said you are not supposed to ask anyone where your parents are from. If you say you're American, everyone accepts it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, I would love my children to grow up like that. But the more I learned about America, the more I learned like the middle class is squeezed
Yeah,
already.
it's not, and it's gotten worse. It's not. I'm not proud to be an American right now.
I'm talking about 2004 and 5.
Yeah,
When
I
I watched
know.
documentaries, I was always already aware of it. And then I
Yeah.
was like, where's the future heading to?
Right.
And then all about China, everything about China. I
Sure.
learned about the provinces, the cities, the inhabitants, the history. And when I learned Mandarin and I was in China, everyone said that my Chinese was totally contrary to each other, because some phrases are from Confucius.
Uh-huh.
So I sounded like an old man talking to them and I was actually just 19, 20 years old.
Right.
On the other hand, I sounded like a 12-year-old girl because when I wanted to learn the everyday Chinese, I watched Taiwanese rom-com dramas.
That's funny. Yeah.
And then they said, if I close my eyes, you sound like a Taiwanese girl from your wording and the pronunciation.
Yeah, and that was 20 years ago, right? So you said 2004.
Yeah. This was when I started. When I was speaking Chinese in China, it was 2011.
Okay, but still, things have changed a lot in 15, 16 years, right?
It changed a lot. I wanted to go to a city because I heard that city is more rural, because Shanghai was too westernized for me.
Yeah, big
And
city, Shanghai.
that city was these cities, because there were two cities. The one city is called Chengdu.
Okay, I've heard of Chengdu and Chiang Mai, right?
Chiang Mai is Thailand.
Okay, well, close. Closer than
Chengdu,
New Jersey.
Chengdu is in the western part of China, and the other city is Chongqing.
Okay.
And both cities, Western people never heard of it.
Yeah, no, I never heard of it.
And I was so keen. I want to go there. What are the prices for the flight tickets? And everyone told me, if you go there, it's really a little old school. Don't go there. Don't waste your time. And when the TikTok ban was about to come in, people left for Xiaohongshu, the Red Note app.
Okay. Oh, right. I heard about that. Yeah.
And then I came across the city again, and I watched with my eldest daughter the documentaries about these cities. In only these 12, 13 years, they haven't had a subway system in the one city. Now they have 600 stations of subways.
600?
600 in only one city.
That's how it grew so fast?
Yeah. In a little more than 10 years, they said they have a new airport, the universities are new,
sure.
and these cities are well known for leisure. It's not for the very much career kind of young Chinese people. It's more like if you have a family, you go over there and you have a good life quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to go there again.
Yeah, no, things have changed in China. China's become a powerhouse.
Yeah, and it's changing to the positive.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Not like Germany.
No. Okay, so what did you study then in college, in the university? You studied
International business.
Oh,
International
okay.
business. Because when I was younger, I did some internships and some MUNs,
Which are what? What are
Model
MUNs?
United Nations.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Model UN. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I loved it because I wanted to change the world. When I was 12, I decided to myself that I wanted to have some perspective,
Okay.
and that is to become a very good family father. And after that, I want to become a wise man that young men can go to and approach him for wisdom, experiences, etc. And I thought if I want to become a good person, I need to change the world for the better and go for politics.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. It sounds like a good route. I don't know if that works.
It didn't work out. That's why I changed my mind in the last
Yeah.
year of high school. I said, fuck it. I don't want to do politics. I want to go for business because they actually decide those things. And
Right.
that,
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, that cleared my sight. And I chose international management. And again, I did a lot of internships. Between every semester, I chose like, I need to go out. Jobs are good for some pocket money, but if I want to choose my life on something, what
Yeah.
direction I want to go to, internships are important.
Yeah. You want an experience.
Exactly. Is it
Yeah.
supply chain management? Is that the direction to go? Because at that time it was very popular.
Yeah. I mean, global supply chains are still, that's the way things work. Look at all these tariffs the U.S. wants to put on. Well, most of our products come from other countries, or parts come from other countries.
100%. Yeah.
Cars, computers, I mean, they're not made all in the United States. So we'll see how that plays out. So what was your first real job? Not internship, but you graduated university. What was your first real job?
My first real job was next to the university. Already after 2 semesters, I said I wanted to do something that gives me the opportunity to put what I learned into action.
Okay.
And I saw an opportunity in donuts.
Donuts?
That's a totally
Okay.
common thing in the United States, but in Germany it wasn't, because actually, if you are aware of it, Germans are very proud of their own bakery goods,
Okay.
breads and
Yeah.
and pastries, etc.
Yeah.
And through Facebook, we Germans got more Americanized than even before.
Because you get
Dunkin'
exposed to it,
Donuts,
right? Yeah.
yeah, Dunkin' Donuts came over to Germany, but
Ah.
only opened in 2 regions of Germany, their stores. One of them was Berlin. So when I went from Hamburg to Berlin, everyone texted me on Facebook like, if you come back, could you please bring us a dozen of
donut.
donuts?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when
We
I
take it
came
for
back, just on the other side of our university, there was a donut shop. Some students
Okay.
had also already the idea. And when I asked my friends about it, do you know there's actually a very good donut shop made fresh every single morning in that store? Why are you still asking me to bring
They
you
didn't even
donuts
know
from?
it existed, right?
They didn't know about it. And
Yeah.
then I heard in my class, location is a very good part of marketing
Right.
mix, but definitely you need to have some form of spreading out. Your
Outreach the word, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
then
that was
I
the end of your
approached them.
freshman year. Is the university 4 years in Germany too?
3.5, yeah,
Okay, so
for the
first 2
bachelor.
semesters is the end of your first year, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
So you're already looking to start your own first business, like, make donuts.
I wanted to somehow, because entrepreneurship is something more modern, at least
Yeah.
for the last 10 years. It
Yeah,
got more
right.
popular, especially in the Western countries.
Definitely.
But corporate is new in Central and South Asia.
Okay.
There weren't many corporations and corporate jobs.
Right.
No middle class.
Right.
Everyone was an entrepreneur. So
Right.
I come from a culture where everyone had that entrepreneur
little
mindset
business.
already. And so I approached this donut shop. I told them I would like to take over your marketing, help you to become more popular, because then you might become Hamburg's answer to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. He had no competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he didn't know it.
He knew it, but he was like, I'm stuck with the store. I'm
Right.
baking, I'm selling. And
Right. He had no time for, he wasn't thinking, right.
yeah, so I offered, let me write you a concept, and this will involve what's the cheapest way how to approach young people, and that's Facebook at that time, 2011.
Yeah, right. Facebook ads.
Facebook ads wasn't so common yet, but
Right.
groups.
Oh, right.
Facebook
right,
groups
because
and
the
Facebook
Facebook
pages
ads came
were-
later. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was so underestimated. And so I talked with them. I wanted to do some challenges with kids on the streets, etc. And somehow an investor came up from I didn't know about
store?
in the store and said,
Okay.
you can't franchise it because I also have some. I'm a stakeholder.
Oh, you wanted to
start with me."
franchise it, but he has the rights to do that.
Exactly. He came up
Oh.
and said, I will talk with everyone else and you might get some percentage once we become a franchise because of your effort. And then we renegotiated some months later because he decided again, twisted his decision and said, we can't give you the franchise rights, but you can open up the first franchise store
So you can open up your own store. Got
and
it.
you don't need to pay the license fees.
So they wait. That was your reward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
But now you're going to be baking the donuts at 4:00 in the morning, and you can't do the marketing. You wanted to build the franchise and let other people bake the donuts, right?
Exactly. And at the same time, that we are talking about a time frame of 6 or 8 months,
Okay.
the first approach, and then until it got successful and they wanted to open up the next stores. They decided to have a local production for all stores
Okay.
and then gonna distribute it among all the stores because at the same time we already had 7 more people who wanted to
open
become a
stores.
franchise owner.
We call that a commissary model. So there was a one place where they would bake the donuts, right? And then they would deliver them to all the stores.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Now, did all these stores come about because of all the marketing that you did that people started to learn about the brand and the name, or no?
Partially because people came in a lot more younger people, more students, and
Right.
Buying more and more. At the beginning, it was just like young people buying just one to try it out. But because of Facebook, it turned out that people bought boxes to just
Dozens of donuts, right?
yeah, because they wanted to show it to their friends, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And the franchise owners, the new potential
Right.
franchisees came in because they saw it gained popularity and they were friends of the main investor.
Yeah, that's usually what happens at the beginning.
Yeah,
The first
And
3 to 5 are like friends and family and people you know, right?
exactly. And within 1 year, when I had my own store, not even 1 year,
So
6 months.
you did open your own store.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so you
I
had
wanted
a
to.
donut store.
Yeah, I wanted to get my reward somehow.
Yeah, of course, but it's a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of work and a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. All the jobs I did between university and internships, all the money went into that one store. Also, I had to ask many family members and friends. I asked them like for $1,000, $5,000
Right.
dollars
Little monies,
to
right.
yeah, because the store was in the shopping mall, in a very popular one. And I don't know if you're aware of it. The shopping mall stores are very complicated to construct, a lot of costs, because you need to comply with all those security and fire measurements.
Oh, there's a lot of different, right? Because you got all the stores together, right?
Yeah,
so if you have
exactly.
a problem and if your store catches on fire, you're going to burn down the whole building.
Exactly. And
Right, so they're a
so
little more
in
stringent.
the end, it was like 120,000 for only one small donut shop in the shopping mall.
Right. You got to
And I
sell a
had
lot of donuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So did you have to close that store at some point because it wasn't profitable, or did it make
Yeah.
money?
No, I lost money.
Okay.
After 2 months already, the cash burning rate was so high that even if I fired the employees, I had 2 part-time employees because I also wanted to continue with my studies. And at the same time, when I was opening up that store, I had some form of a mentor for business.
Yeah.
And he needed me as well. So he took also a lot of my time and attention because that was fancier at that time. He said, look, I want to do international trading. And that looks like you bring in fresh fish to Turkey. From Turkey, you're going to get marble. Bring marble to Spain
Importing.
again.
The importing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're doing all these things. Now you know why the donut guy was having trouble marketing, because it's hard to run a donut shop, even when that's all you're doing.
Yeah, and also they did many empty promises, like donuts is something more like a dessert for Germans. It's not a full meal, not even for breakfast. We
No?
need to have some kind of sandwiches to it, and bagels are also a new thing. But still, they know about the meat, the salad, and the fresh cheese between the pairs of bread. They understand this, and we're gonna implement that. And also, we're gonna do a lot of advertisement because the margin is not in the donuts, but in the coffee.
Yeah, right. Same with Dunkin' Donuts, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they didn't do that. They
Oh,
didn't do
any
anything
of
of
that stuff.
No. So the cash burn rate was so high that in the end, I told them, "You can get the store for free.
Here
Take
you
over
go.
the
Here are the keys, right?
yeah. Here are the keys. Just sign it, and I just
Right.
want to leave."
Are they still in business?
And no.
went out of business.
I think one year later they shut down all 14 stores.
Really? Because they don't know how to run a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was very dangerous, and also they had very high. What's it called? If you need to pay if you do something that is not allowed, penalty.
They paid a lot of penalties. Oh,
Yeah,
for the franchisees.
Yeah, because I wanted to implement the bagels myself then.
Yeah, right. Because they weren't doing it right. So why can't you do it?
Yeah, and then they said you can't do this because et cetera, it's gonna cost you this money. And one of my business entrepreneur mentors told me, like, did you know that many of our first businesses didn't work out?
Yeah.
And I was shocked again because I was so naive as a child. I was like, only mentally stable people started, and then they are successful. And they went,
Of
no.
course.
Usually
Everyone
it's the stupid ones that
right.
started
There's only
business.
a few of those. Exactly. Well, that just shows you how many stupid people there are.
Yeah, and then they
That's the
said
problem.
the difference is we try over and over again, and somehow we're gonna make it to start again.
Right.
And if we start again, it's like five ideas are stupid, and the more we become
Closer
experienced,
to the good one, right?
Yeah. Then we are like, if 3 or 4 out of 5 ideas work out, you are very successful.
Very successful. That's true. Yeah, it's true. Most people I have on the show who have been successful in 1 or 2 businesses have failed at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other businesses. Some they worked for, some they started themselves. But did you feel that you learned something from the donuts shop experience?
Oh, yes. And this is a lesson I have still today. And many of my agency clients are also in the restaurant or pastry
food
business
of some sort. Yeah.
And I always tell them, please don't start to implement a franchise system too early.
Right.
Be aware of the responsibility you have for all the people and their families.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You have
so
a
this is what
you're trying to make these people successful, and it makes you successful. You have to support them, and you have to do the right thing. The best franchise systems I see that I review for clients, because I'm a business lawyer, are ones that support the franchisees. There's some that just take your money, they leave you off in the wind, and then the system falls apart. The other ones have advisory boards, and you get to talk to the other franchisees and share ideas, and you get to implement things, and it makes everyone successful, even the franchisor.
100%.
Yeah. So you start. So did you go into another business after this, or was
Immediately?
it really just marketing after that?
It was marketing.
Yeah.
But not as a service company.
Okay.
But we turned 2 of my friends and we were very rational, and I said, I need to get out. I need something that has way higher profit margin because I need to make a good living and still pay off the debt from the last business. And we came up with what I learned in Dubai. If everyone is stuck with financial crisis or in the misery, the first thing they're gonna sell is their second home.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware until I heard that the financial crisis in 2008 was trickling down in Europe way later, because we had very early the subsidies and we were not so much into debt, but it trickled down way later.
Yeah.
And then I heard in Spain, many houses are sold to 40 cents
40 cents
to a
on the
dollar.
dollar?
Yeah.
Wow.
And people are not aware of it because online they still list all their houses and villas and mansions for 1 million. But if you come in and tell them they immediately gonna get 450,000 in cash, they're gonna give you, yeah. And when I heard about that and I saw how many houses were listed on the island of Mallorca,
Mallorca. Yeah, I want to go to Mallorca someday. It's pretty nice island.
it's very beautiful.
Yeah, I
One
told my
of the
wife I want to
most
go to Mallorca.
beautiful places on earth.
Yeah,
The nature, the houses, the culture,
yeah, I want to go.
really, it's awesome.
Yeah,
And then we three friends got together. One person had experience with real estate agencies,
hmm
and I took over marketing
for the
because
agency, for the real estate agency.
not only for the agency, but we've realized if there are so many mansions on the market
Yeah.
and there's no exclusivity if you are a broker for it,
Okay.
then no one invests money into properly setting it up on their
Right,
website.
because they're not the broker, right?
Yeah, so everyone had shitty photos of the mansions, and
Yeah.
I was sitting there, and how are you trying to sell with basic photos a $4 million mansion?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Right.
So when I talked with many of the people on the island, what are you selling most? It was like the houses between 500,000 and 1 million.
Right.
And the more I asked, why is, it took too much effort
Right.
for the
Sell the big ones. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our idea was to set up a contract with the homeowners who want to sell their houses quick. We're gonna come up with drones, with 3D animations, high quality photos and videos. We're gonna do everything and even have fancy brochures with high quality printing.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to have 0.5 or 1% of the
sales price.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be your fee.
That's our fee, and we are not exclusive. We don't want to be the agents ourselves. We're still gonna distribute it among the good real estate agents.
Got it.
And they were happy because we did all the work.
Yeah.
And we could choose like who is really good, successful in the home countries.
And they don't have to pay you unless it sells.
Exactly.
So
and that worked out pretty well because we also made sure if somebody in Germany didn't want somebody to hear that their business is not doing good. So we wanted to make sure that their house is not sold to another German. So we talked with an agency who is selling exclusively to Swedish people or French people.
That's funny. But that's smart, right?
It was a lot of fun. We had investors coming in from all over the world. Suddenly, they introduced the golden visa that made it even easiarr for us.
What's a
because
golden
we told
visa?
people the golden visa was introduced in many European countries because they realized their properties aren't worth anything anymore.
Okay.
So they told people outside of European Union, if you invest a certain number into real estate, you're going to get a visa for 10 years immediately for the whole EU because we have one visa policy.
Yeah.
And also for your family members.
Oh, okay. We have a similar program like that. I think it's called an HB11 or HB1. And if you invest a certain amount of things, you buy real estate here, they'll give you a green card for you and like 7 or 10 of your family members. Depends on how much money you put.
But the amount is totally different. Like in Portugal, it was 150,000 only.
Right.
In Spain and Greece, it was 250. And in France and Germany, it was 500,000 to 1 million, dependent on the time. So Spain was very interesting for us because our marketing approach was, you can be sure the island is so popular. Once the German market settled, the Germans gonna come back anyway. They're gonna invest into the island, in the property. Just wait 1 or 2 years. So we had many Russians coming in, Arab people coming in, and Chinese people coming in, investing all over south of France, Mallorca. And they loved how we set up everything because they could check out everything in detail online.
Right.
And yeah, because we were thinking so fancy of ourselves, we were the only people, even though we weren't the agents, the final
Right.
agents, we weren't
Yeah.
the ones.
No, you weren't
But
real estate agents.
we shown the houses from a boat perspective, from a helicopter perspective. It was so fun at that time. It was very
Yes.
fun. I
So
even
that
had
was-
NBA players and NFL players
Oh,
coming
really?
over to. Yeah.
So that the agency was in Mallorca?
Actually, we
Or
were still in Hamburg, but we
You
were
did it from
always
Hamburg.
Yeah.
Got it remotely. Okay. Why don't we do this, Merag? Let's take a short break for some of the support I have, and then let's talk more about marketing and what you do, what you see people do wrong, what they can do right to improve their businesses. And can we do that?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick break. All right, Merag. I don't know if you know those guys at GSM. I think he's in Germany. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. But anyway, see if you agree with.
Here's a word from our sponsors. Looking to market and grow your business? Or perhaps you're just getting started and want to hit the ground running? AWeber is the best choice for online email marketing and automation of your business. From maintaining a subscriber list to drip campaigns and landing pages, AWeber gives you tools and integrations that make marketing easy and fun. As our partner and sponsor, we use all their tools to promote the podcast and market our law firm. AWeber, the best alternative for online marketing. For over 30 years, the Alternative Board, or TAB, has built a thriving community of forward-thinking CEOs and business owners who want to radically improve their companies. Through unique combinations of one-on-one business coaching, participation in monthly TAB board meetings with other non-competing owners, a suite of strategic tools, and customized strategic planning workshops, TAB membership can deliver greater strength to your business and a better work-life balance for you and your family. All packaged in a streamlined and affordable service that the people at TAB invite you to try risk-free. Are you struggling with managing advertising due to a lack of time or expertise? Perhaps you're facing challenges in scaling ads for your store. Are you feeling lost when strategies have no success? GSM Growth Agency is your reliable partner in overcoming these business challenges. Feel the impact of collaborating with a team dedicated not only to short-term goals, but also to building long-term partnerships and achieving sustained success. Embark on an exciting journey to redefine the possibilities of e-commerce and create a legacy of unparalleled excellence. Take decisive action now. Follow their link in the show notes to receive a complimentary audit of your Shopify store conducted by a GSM expert. Propel your e-commerce game to new heights with GSM Growth Agency. Follow the link in the show notes to learn more about all of our sponsors. And now back to our show.
All right, Merag. I don't know if you know those guys at GSM. I think he's in Germany. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. But anyway, see if you agree with what they do. But so let's talk about it, because now we're years later, right? You have a lot of marketing experience. I guess not all online businesses, but a lot of his online digital marketing, right?
Exactly.
So first let's talk about the things you see that business owners do wrong. And you're obviously not just like in Hamburg. You're seeing people kind of all over Europe, in some cases all over the world, right?
What I see constantly, and I'm still shocked. Like, how can this happen? Do you really lack of that much empathy? How can you always talk about yourself? And how can you think that every one of your clients, some may be very naive, but everyone is so stupid and just fall for your text, for your copies, etc. Because it all sounds like, I want to make money out of you. Come here, let your money here, just leave.
Right. So a lot of
This
it,
is how most of the marketing sounds like.
It's just too salesy, too like pushing what they do. Is that what you think?
Exactly. And I can see your weakness and your blind spots miles away. And if the more I come closer, the more you pretend like they are not there.
Right. So that's
and
because
also
of your experience.
Not only that, because the clicks also show the same thing. Because in digital marketing, the big thing is attribution. We can definitely see everything, where people come from,
right,
and how they react. You can see how many digital content pieces are distributed every single day from different sizes of businesses. It's not only a small business thing.
Right.
That mistake is done by big corporations where 20 professionals are sitting in the same room and still create content pieces with only 200 views. So
crap.
Yeah. You can, definitely. And then there are algorithms showing you, honestly, your piece of content didn't work out.
Right.
And they continue doing this. That's why I had an exit in my first agency, because I had a partner in it and then investors, and exit was way easier because I wanted to grow way faster. And the second time,
you mean then they wanted to?
Yeah. I always want to scale fast, things fast.
Okay.
And then with my second agency, I had implemented a few rules, and one of them is always remember, whatever you're doing, it needs to be effective.
Right.
In marketing, always consider, does it have a positive effect, any form of impact?
Right.
Because just doing something just because we get paid for it and it has no results, no revenue output for our client for it,
right,
don't do it.
Right.
And the second
do that a lot, right?
is
they just put
efficiency.
An advertisement in. You think it's the message, or you think it's that they don't test what it is that they're doing?
I think many people working as marketing professionals are actually good salesmen of themselves.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's in-house or agencies. They can sell themselves very good.
Right. You think
are not very good marketers.
Right. No, you're right. I get offered things for my law firm, and it's just me all the time. They're going to generate leads. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. It never, ever works. I have a few clients that are very good at SEO and all this type of stuff, and I do get business as a result of it. Most of the other ones don't. And I, I'm a business person. I don't do what you do, so I don't understand all these analytics, and it's crazy. So people just keep doing the wrong things, and they just keep doing it, think it's going to get a result.
Yeah, because they are not capable of it.
Right.
And if it comes down to the messaging, yes, actually, messaging is very profound.
Mm-hmm.
And I still wonder how many people are not good at this, because you just need empathy.
Right.
if you are not skilled in it, it will take you way longer time to come up with the perfect copy.
Right.
As long as you have empathy, you can come up with it.
Right.
Like, just put yourself into your main target group's shoes, and you will come up with the perfect phrase that sums up, we are the solution to your problem that you're currently in it. That's it.
So you think if people don't show empathy, they just see through you. They just they don't really connect with you.
100%. And people are still so arrogant, and I see that especially with with academics. Somehow they look down on everyone else, and I wonder, like, you are not a better human being.
Right.
If you don't have a passion for your target group, you will become disrespectful to them, and they feel it.
Right.
Nowadays, can you spot if a content piece is done by AI?
Pretty much. And many people also have a sense already for stock photos. It doesn't matter how much effort you put into finding the right stock image for a campaign. People can spot it. Yeah, of course.
And many businesses still pay a lot of money to all those stock pages.
Right.
And they still don't create their own piece of content. And I'm telling you, it's not only the small businesses. Very often the small businesses are even more aware of it than corporations.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the one guy. It's his whole business. It's important to him. You know, it's funny. I think AI can be very helpful to some of these small businesses in creating copy. But what a lot of people do is they throw it into like ChatGPT, and then they don't read anything. And it's wrong, or it's not well written, or it doesn't make any sense, or it's not clear. So it's okay to come up with ideas, but you still have to, I create blog articles that way. I use ChatGPT to create the topic, and then I go through it. It saves me time, but I still have to read through them and make sure they're accurate and change what I don't like, and stuff like that. And I think that people are just lazy. I don't know. I guess that's what it is.
It's lazy. It's lazy, and to be honest, disrespectful.
Yeah.
Towards other people and also themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Because if you cared about yourself, you'd do it the right way.
Exactly.
They don't. Right. Exactly.
Because they don't put the effort for themselves. And so empathy is so important that my first agency's name was Empathy with an A.
It was?
Yeah, because amplifying empathy. This was my goal.
Okay. So empathy spelled with an A?
Exactly.
Empathy?
Yeah. Amplifying empathy, together, combined, conjoined.
Okay, so can you give me an example, maybe like a case study, of how a business owner can show empathy in his or her marketing?
It depends. So basically, it's important, first of all, to really understand who your target groups are.
Okay.
And you want to be as honest and truthful towards them. So first of all, don't try to hide your weaknesses.
Okay, good advice.
Or don't invent lies.
Right. Because you're going to get caught.
Yeah, you're going to get caught. 100%. And then really try out to respect those target groups. In my last agency and in my current agency, one of the rules is also clients first. We put so much dedication to understand the target groups of our clients.
Yeah.
Until that point that we can really understand if that piece of video content would come up on the TikTok algorithm.
Right.
Would we appreciate it as a piece of content that entertains us or informs us? Or is it just bland ad?
Just noise.
Exactly.
Right.
So we need to be so respectful about it. Yeah. And if you respect someone, how do you develop respect towards someone, Mitch?
You kind of understand what they think. You be nice to them. You be supportive of whatever it is that they do.
Yeah, and you see their qualities.
Yeah.
How much you need to invest so much time into your target group that you not only understand but can already predict them, but also the vibes are so important. People always feel the vibes. If you put the extra effort because you respect them, they feel it. They're going to appreciate it.
Right. Yeah,
And if
the
you
best
want to do it in
client.
digital marketing, it's all about consume what they consume.
Okay. Know what
Because
they read, know what they like, know what they listen to.
exactly, be
Yeah.
part of the pop culture in the niche. Like if you have a company that is dedicated to help handyman to succeed,
Okay.
then understand their humor.
Right. Understand the whole handyman world, what people need, what they say, what, right? And you
What they
do that for your clients. You make sure you learn everything about their customer.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of effort,
Yeah.
and I know I could earn a lot more if I do this only for corporations because that effort makes
They
a
pay
lot of
more.
more.
Right.
Yeah, but I still want that fast pace, freedom when I'm implementing this. So it's a lot of effort for the mid-sized companies that I'm serving.
Yeah. And they can make decisions quicker.
Way quicker, and it's
Right.
way more fun because let's be honest, in some niche subgenre, the culture is moving so fast.
Very
You
fast.
need to
Yeah.
implement every part of the trend immediately.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. The business owners that I've interviewed, even some of my clients who are really good marketers, they know what their clients want, why they do business with them. And, even when they know it, they don't think they know it. So they ask again. They're always asking people that come and do business with them, current clients, new clients, people that don't do business with them, if they're willing to talk to them. Why didn't you do business with us? What is it why did you choose to do business with us? What are your needs? What things didn't we do right? And they're always looking to, figure that algorithm out all the time because they
Yes,
know it's always
100%.
changing, like you said, right? It's always changing with their likes and dislikes and how businesses. I mean, look, what was it? A couple of years ago, AI wasn't really even on the scene in the small business market. There really wasn't anything for people to, I mean, you had like automated things like on marketing, but it wasn't like it'll think for you. And now Chat GPT, all that stuff, it's like available to the average small business owner. He can now do things. So it's always moving at a very fast pace. But that's good advice. So what's some of the other things that you guys do for clients besides knowing their customer in and out, top to bottom?
But this is the most important thing.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
you just mentioned something that I 100% believe that is not true.
Okay.
We don't ask our clients.
You don't ask the end user. Okay.
We don't ask them
No.
how they feel, what they value,
Okay.
what are their next steps. We don't believe them.
Okay. Because you think most people don't know what they want?
100%.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that is so true, and nowadays even more than ever before. Because if I talk with elder generations, with my uncle, dad, and other, I grew up a lot with older men.
Yeah.
Because I was always into becoming that wise man. So
Yeah.
I
Confucius.
I learned that very early that our generation is so tied up with career, we don't know about living at all anymore.
That's true. You're
We
absolutely
are
right.
so sorry. I
Tied. We're
yeah,
tied to our career. That's our whole
and
life.
yeah, and we are so. Um, we are so easy to be influenced
Yeah.
because we are not having a second thought to many things because we are not uh, knowledgeable enough to ask the right questions outside of our career.
Right. No. You're right. I mean, look, you got the phone here, right? So you sit there looking, swiping, and right. Oh, there's so much data going by your eyes. You can't really learn anything.
Let's take a look at the vegan movement.
Okay. Good example.
How many people chose to become vegan just because of some thing they heard just for one or two times from certain people?
Yeah. A
And then
lot of
just
people.
and then they just said, I'm gonna give it a try.
Right.
Then they are not putting any emphasis like, is it real or is it some propaganda or PR from an industry?
Right.
And then last but not least, why am I trying to eat as replacement of meat goods instead of going to Indian, Thai, or Buddhist country foods who are already aware of how to supplement
Right. They're
the
using
lack of meat with other vegetables and other sources.
right.
And instead we are eating even more faker
They have
things.
Impossible Burgers over there.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah, it's synthesized meat. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
but
it's
you're
so
right. A lot of people jump
stupid.
on it, not because for health reasons. They jump on it because the animals are mistreated or the cows aren't good for the planet, or there's all kinds of reasons. They read an article, like you said, and it says it's too many cows and it's not very good for the planet and methane and all. And I'm not going to eat cows anymore. I'm going to eat just vegetables and maybe, I don't know, maybe eggs. I don't know.
And how many people who were at first firm believers and were really into that vegan lifestyle,
Yeah.
how many people of them could do that longer than 1 year? And how many of them, if you would ask them
Yeah.
after 1 year, do you still believe in veganism is the future? They would say yes. But I'm telling you, most of the people after 1 year haven't
give it up.
been vegan anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So-
they're not really committed to it.
Exactly. So their actions are not what they think they are or what they believe in.
Right. Okay. So then how do you, as a marketing guy for businesses, get across to the people who don't know what they want and don't know what they should do?
Observing. You need to spend a lot of time, not only in the digital world, but also in the real world. You need to sit in the same kind of cafes. If you are like, oh, I'm in the most of my clients are suburban stay-at-home moms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if you're a guy, sit with them,
go where
go
they are,
out,
right.
watch them. What's going on? What are the TV shows? What are they liking or pinning on Pinterest, etc.?
Yeah.
You just need to do this. I'm putting so much effort that I have so many fake accounts on TikTok and Instagram because I need to have the same feed as
You
the
want to
target
follow,
people.
right?
Yeah, I want to know what's coming up, what's popping on my TikTok screen if I pretend to be a 18-year-old girl, because then I want to see what skirt, what jewelry is coming up, because that's an opportunity for one of my clients to collaborate with them.
Okay, right. And so you're saying don't ask your clients what they want.
Become
You
your
market.
client.
Right. Watch your client, what they're actually doing, because it may not be and probably isn't what they're saying.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Because the difference between what you think who you are and who you actually are is so staggering.
Right. And what do you think the best ways, what are the best ways that you do marketing? Is it posting on social media? Is it email marketing? Are you, flying a banner on a airplane over a football stadium? I mean, I think a lot of small business owners don't know what they should be doing, and it may vary all the time, but right? Do I post? How often do I post? Do I do a podcast? Do I put blog articles out there? Do I build an email list? And I think they're kind of lost in that. What do you think?
Depends on the industries and businesses,
Well, of course.
but in general, here's what I tell my employees also in general. If it's B2B, usually it's LinkedIn and cold email outreach,
Okay.
because there are such good tools like Instantly AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It makes sure it warms up your emails, so that if you send out an email, it won't land in the spam, because your email account is already warmed up for the algorithms of Google and Microsoft. It makes sure that the service of those companies are thinking that you are a natural person.
Got it. So you send it through their system, and it
Exactly. So Instantly is a great tool.
AI?
Yeah, 100%. It's such a great tool.
Okay.
And they expanding their services so well. Like it was such a pain setting up those email accounts, because I didn't want to use my real business email. I needed to buy another domain that sounds similar to my current one, and still, if it ever got striked, then still my business operations aren't hit by it.
Right.
And now they offer within Instantly here is a list of domains you can buy from us, and they are already warmed up, so you can send out your emails immediately. So
You do
it's
that for clients.
yeah.
Got it. Now, what about the services like? Well, I use Aweber, right? They're a sponsor member. What about like MailChimp, Constant Contact, those kind of things? If you use those services to send emails to people,
This is a total different mindset, because these are perfectly for nurturing who is already interested in you or does business with you, because it's a newsletter
keep
system.
in touch like list.
Instantly is perfect for cold outreach.
Okay.
And I highly suggest doing both always.
Got it. Cold outreach. You mean like you buy a list of people and then you use Instantly to make sure it doesn't end up in spam, or like where are you getting the names?
There are also different tools. You can buy the names already within Instantly. They also offer it. I still advise to use Apollo IO.
I know Apollo IO. I don't know why.
It's like Sales Navigator from LinkedIn, but just outside. So they have aggregated data collections from different sources, and then they're gonna tell you, oh, you want to sell something to doctors? Here are all doctors in New Jersey who are employing at least 2 more doctors, because then they are large enough to buy your machine.
Got it. I see. So that's Apollo AI is good for that?
Yeah. So this combination is really awesome. First of all, really, again, you need to know who your target group is, because the more you understand them, the better your landing page is set up exactly for your target group. So when you do the outreach with the perfect copy, subject in the email, etc., this is where your money is.
That's what you got to put your money into.
100%. So this is B2B that works instantly. In the mid and long term, I still believe that you need to build a brand. That brand system is set up if you're B2B on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Content marketing is the way to go. Personal branding is already essential. It's not something that is putting you on the pole position anymore. It's just an essential already, because many people are doing it. What's working? I tried it 1.5 years ago. I tried to implement with many clients employee-generated content.
Okay.
Because the algorithms are not allowing you to upload 5-10 pieces of content on Instagram, right? Okay. So our idea was, what if we find the people with good vibes, with the sympathy?
In the company?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then we set up LinkedIn and Instagram accounts for them. Or if they were already putting out content, we just gave them some guides, like you're supposed to say that about the company, and you're not allowed to say that.
Guidelines, right?
Yeah, as short as possible, because you want the authentic them to get out.
Okay.
And if that worked out, then we repurposed that piece of content for the main channel again.
Okay.
So if you're a restaurant chain with 20 stores, you can be sure you can find at least 20, 30, 40 people who are already putting out content on TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask them. Give them a bonus.
Within your company. So they're like little micro influencers, kind of. And
exactly.
Use their connections.
Exactly. And you can try out different kind of formats. Right. Because if you do it on your... and the algorithm is very good if you stick to one certain format, to one certain series on one channel.
Okay.
But if you have different channels, different accounts, then you can try out different things. And only if it works out, then implement it on your main account.
Right. So you're testing things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people.
And at the same time, it's very authentic, because it's not you on the brand account who has to say positive things about the brand, because you're on the brand account.
Right.
But if you're showing like, hey, I'm the head of marketing, look how much dedication we put into the preparation of one short reel, or look, we incentivize our own employees who are really proud of working here.
Yeah.
They can distribute whatever content they want. And if they do it good, we're going to give them a bonus.
Oh yeah, you can incentivize them. Now, what do you think about, because you talk about branding, right? A lot of small businesses, I think, are afraid to like brand themselves along with the company, because a lot of times the company is you, right? Because you're very small, people know you in the community, and people are hesitant to do it. What do you think about that? That should people be branding themselves along with branding their companies?
It needs to be two channels, two
Yeah,
directions, 100%, because the brand needs to be part of the asset of the business as well,
right.
because
So it kind
otherwise
of
you
feed
won't
off
have
of
an
each
exit.
other.
Yeah, you won't have an exit because investors gonna take out your value you're bringing in.
Right, because they figured, well, if they invest and you're gone,
Exactly.
it left the company.
Yeah, I've had it with several of my clients. They wanted an exit, but it was not so good as they thought because they were too crucial as a brand face for the business.
Yeah. No, that's a problem. If you want to sell your business someday, you got to build it so it's not so dependent on you.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
how many?
also, as a business owner, it doesn't matter how much passion you put into it.
Right.
Believe me, I'm very passionate about marketing, and I
Obviously.
love the business I'm doing for my clients and etc. And yet, I always think of still it would be the best case if I'm not necessary for the everyday business anymore.
Right. Yeah. Because then you can go and do the bigger things.
Exactly. And one big part is your face shouldn't be your business shouldn't be relying on your business.
Right.
No,
Right.
sorry, the business shouldn't be relying on your face.
Right. Yeah. Because if you want to leave, they got a problem. Or you shouldn't be relying on one employee to do everything that you do, because if they leave, then you're in a lot of trouble. You got to build your business properly.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
for many clients, I'm always telling them, don't use one brand face, not even two. Try out to have different channels, approaches on different accounts.
Yeah.
Because if two of them leave, you still have 12 others.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand. Now, how many partners do you have right now, Merag? Is it just you, or you got partners in the business?
I don't have any partners anymore. That's
you?
why I left the last agency, because I want to. Many people don't believe it, but you can sprint in the long term.
Yeah, you don't. They'll go
Because
too
I can.
slow for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but you have people that work for you, right? And virtual, they're not necessarily sitting next to you, but you have a team of people to handle all these clients.
Yes, I have 6 people full time in the Philippines and 4
Okay.
people here in Germany. And the rest we are doing all through freelancers and a network of other agencies. Because if you have someone who is really skilled in copywriting for hospitals and for the medical industry,
Yeah.
we can't employ them full time
Right.
because
You
we
just
have
need
only
them.
one client.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. You need them, specialty people you plug in when you need them.
Exactly.
So,
And
if
I
somebody,
believe this is the future for agencies anyway.
yeah, because like you said, I mean, how many people do I need to do medical writing? 3 practices that are clients. So, if people want to like connect with you and learn from you and see what you're doing, what's the best way to find you online? Is there a website, LinkedIn? And we'll put the links in the show notes, but what's the best?
I put small experiences and learnings on my TikTok nearly every day.
Okay, TikTok. Okay.
Yeah.
You were probably freaking out the other day when they shut it down in the United States.
I was freaking out on the one hand, and on the other hand, I was like, well, make the best out of your circumstances,
Right.
because so many people left for Red Note
Yeah, they switched.
that I immediately started posting content on Red Note, and both in Mandarin and English. I had so many followers within 2 nights
that it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
And
So, how about
right
LinkedIn?
now,
You post on LinkedIn too?
yeah, I do. And because I just want to tell you that I am mostly B2B. So anyway, LinkedIn and Instagram is the way to go, because you can't build an audience on TikTok, but the conversion rate for B2B is horrible.
On TikTok, it's more of a consumer individual website, right?
Exactly. They're going to consume you. They're going to see your face. It's helpful if you can find out who it was watching your TikTok profile, because then you can gonna retarget them with another content piece on LinkedIn. That works. but you can't rely on TikTok as a sole, because no one comes over to your business.
And does your agency have a website?
Yes, shiftingco.com.
Shifting Co.
Yeah, like corporation.
Yeah.
Or company.
Shiftingco.com. Okay. All right. We'll make sure they're all in the show notes. And I can't thank you enough. I know it's like late there, so it's getting there. We're at 10:15 or something.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm used to it. So
Well,
I'm leaving my agency 6 times a week, not before 9 p.m.
Yeah, because of you're dealing internationally.
Not only that, because last man standing. If something doesn't work, the deadline is a deadline. And
You're the guy. Well, Merag, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, being on the other side of the world.
Thanks for having me.
Sharing all your ideas. Let's definitely stay in touch. And we'll go to credits. Hang out for a minute. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Accidental Entrepreneur. Opening and closing music written and performed by Howie Moskovich and made to order music. For information about Howie and his music services, please follow the link in our show notes. If you like the podcast, please tell others about us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most of the other podcast directories. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review and feel free to share our episodes on social media. If you have any questions or comments, ideas for the show, or you'd even like to appear as a guest, reach out to us by email at info@beinhackerlaw.com.
The Accidental Entrepreneur is hosted by Mitch Beinhacker and produced by Beinhacker Law. If you'd like to learn more about our business and legal services, you can find us on social media or visit our website at beinhackerlaw.com. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to our feed to be notified of all future episodes.